My name is Charlotte. I'm 29, eating lunch at my desk. An email loads. Then a notification. Dad's name fills my screen. For half a second, I hope. Maybe he's checking in. Maybe about my promotion. The message opens, clean and cold. We've chosen to sever all contact. Stay away from us forever. Another buzz. Madison liked the text. A bright, stupid thumbs up. My sandwich tastes like metal. Fluorescents hum. Reheated fish stings the air. My hands stop shaking. I type without overthinking. I'll remove my name from every loan tomorrow. Send. I silence the chat. I finish lunch. I go back to work. They severed me by message. I severed the money. Ever had family cut you off by text? Tell me below. I woke before dawn. Coffee. Notebook. Laptop. My quiet arsenal lined across the table like weapons. The apartment was still dark. The city half asleep. I sat in that silence where decisions echo. I'd said I'd remove my name. Now I meant it. You can't just erase your name, the banker warned. Then trigger whatever removes it, I said. Her silence told me everything. Refinance or sell. Those were the only doors. If Dad couldn't qualify, the house would list itself in loss. Next, the truck lease. Certified notice drafted, mailed before noon. 30 to 60 days for review, the finance manager said. No guarantor, no truck. Simple math, finally in my favor. By lunch, my legal pad was full of names and numbers. Mortgage, truck, Madison's car, Mom's kitchen loan. Every debt I'd carried like a bloodline. I paused to breathe. The coffee had gone cold, bitter. But clarity burned hotter than caffeine. Madison's car came next. Title and insurance in my name. Legally, it was mine. I'd been paying for her independence for years. Now I was repossessing my sanity. Then Mom's renovation loan. $20,000 borrowed for her credit's sake. 3 payments made, then excuses. I paused the rest. Let collections call me, not control me. The list looked brutal in ink. Every signature a scar I was finally suturing closed. They'd called me selfish for saying no, ungrateful for wanting distance, vindictive for choosing fairness. What they never called me was free. If I'm banished, my signature leaves with me. By the next morning, I'd memorized the list. Every number, every signature that tied me to them. Madison's car was first. Technically mine, title, insurance, registration. She just drove it like it was earned. I waited until her shift started. Mom and Dad both at work. Suburbia still under pale spring light. I parked down the street, key in hand. The driveway looked the same. Trimmed hedges, porch flags. Only I'd changed. Her white car gleamed in the driveway. I unlocked it, slid inside, and turned the key. The engine started on the first turn. Fast food wrappers on the floor. Old fries and cheap perfume. Glitter ground into the mats. I reversed out of the driveway. No one stopped me. No one noticed. It felt like theft. It wasn't. At my apartment, I parked and stared at it. I'd taken back something with my name on it. I sent one message to the family chat. Vehicle recovered. Madison can arrange other transportation. Then I silenced the thread. By the time I returned from my workout, my phone flooded. Hundreds of messages, missed calls, voicemails. Mom crying. Dad furious. Madison raging through text bubbles. Uncle Tim preaching forgiveness. Aunt Laura sending prayer hands. Cousin Derek diagnosing me from Facebook. Everyone outraged. Not by what they'd done, but by what I'd stopped doing. I set the keys on the counter, hands still buzzing. I opened my folder. Titles, statements, screenshots. Proof I hadn't imagined any of it. For a second, I feared they'd call police. Title was in my name. Fear left. I wrote today's date in a spiral notebook. Documented times, calls, messages, steps, a record for the future me. In the courtyard, sprinklers hissed. The air smelled like wet soil and soap. The courtyard stayed ordinary. I showered, changed into soft clothes, brewed tea. I watched steam rise and breathed steadily. Grandma Ruth called around 9. Her tone was calm, deliberate. I told your mother I'd hear your side first. I almost cried. I told her everything. The loans, the lies, the text that exiled me. She paused. When your mother was young, she said. She borrowed $5,000 from us. Never paid it back. Said she thought it was a gift. Another pause. Some people think love means endless rescue. You're right to stop drowning for them. Her voice wavered once, then steadied. You remind me of your grandfather. He believed in earning peace. When the call ended, I sat in the dark. The car keys cooled in my palm. Freedom didn't feel triumphant. It felt clean, like air after rain. Sometimes taking back what's yours looks like betrayal. Until you remember who betrayed first. The next morning began with noise. Pings stacked like hail on glass. Mom's voicemails braided guilt with scripture. Dad's texts threatened lawyers and police. Madison went public. A Facebook note titled, "My Truth." I read it once, jaw tight. I was jealous, controlling, vindictive apparently. Her friends applauded in heart emojis. A former coworker commented cautiously, "Didn't Charlotte pay for that car?" The comment vanished in minutes. So did the coworker. My phone buzzed again, relentless. Screenshots from cousins I barely knew. Hashtags about narcissists and betrayal. I locked my accounts, changed passwords, turned off read receipts. Then I opened the evidence folder. Mortgage statements, lease contracts, loan terms, dates, amounts, signatures that matched mine. I took photographs of everything, saved copies to 2 drives, emailed myself a compressed archive. Dad's message finally arrived. A photo of letterhead, not a letter. "Expect consequences," he wrote. I forwarded it to Lauren. She replied in 6 minutes. "Bluff, keep documentation immaculate." I made tea. Peace arrived, carefully. At noon, Grandma Ruth called again. "I've slept on it," she said. "I'm updating my will this week." I gripped the counter edge. "Grandma, you don't need to—" "I do," she said. "Your mother confuses love with access." Her voice softened, not weak. "You confuse love with obligation. Stop doing that." Something steady clicked inside. A permission I didn't know I needed. I scheduled a therapy intake. Thursday, 4 p.m., recurring. I added it to my calendar. I set an alert. Madison posted a story at sunset. Shaky voice, tragic lighting, practiced tears. "Family should help, not punish," she said. I didn't reply. I folded laundry instead. Shirts, socks, a soft towel. The door buzzer startled me. A courier, small envelope, my name. Inside, a typed demand. "Return the vehicle immediately." Threats in bold, signatures missing. I smiled without humor. I emailed my response in 3 lines. Title attached, insurance attached. Your move. Lauren texted a thumbs up. "One more thing," she wrote. "Start a written log. Every contact, every threat, every expense." I opened a fresh document. Typed the date and time. The list grew like a spine. That night, the chat burned hotter. Uncle Tim proposed mediation. Aunt Laura organized a prayer chain. Cousin Derek sent a sermon video. I muted his number permanently. Before bed, I stood by the window. The city kept moving, unbothered. Somewhere, a siren passed and faded. My life felt smaller and cleaner. Not empty. Measured. I set my phone face down. I turned off every notification. Quiet arrived like a rightful tenant. I slept. For the first time in months, I didn't dream of drowning. They broadcast a saga. I kept a record and claimed my peace. The house hit the market in June. I didn't visit once. Agents staged fruit bowls and white towels. I signed digitally and moved on. Dad applied to refinance a loan. He was denied, twice. The lender emailed the next steps. Sale required. Timeline attached. I forwarded it to my lawyer. An offer arrived after 6 showings. Good school district. Clean inspection. Closing in 30 days. At the signing, I kept my camera off. Wire confirmation landed that afternoon. After the mortgage and fees, equity remained. My portion, $20,000. I saved the receipt. Dad texted one line. "You're a vulture." I archived it for records. The truck lease resolved itself. Dealership demanded a new guarantor or return. He found a coworker willing to co-sign. I mailed my release letter anyway. File updated, liability removed. Madison's car stayed in my spot. I changed the insurance and plates. Maintenance on schedule, finally. No glitter on the mats. Mom's kitchen loan kept humming in my head. $20,000 borrowed in my name. 3 payments from her, then silence. I stopped paying last winter. The score dipped. 60 points. I let it. Collections called 6 months later. Balance swollen with fees. 13,000, they said. I negotiated a settlement. 5,000, single payment, deletion in writing. They agreed. I paid and filed the letter. My totals were simple. 9,000 already paid. 5,000 to settle. 14 on 20. A wound closed with a scar. Work noticed the shift. I stayed late for deliverables, not disasters. I mentored the new hires. My manager scheduled a one-on-one. "You've stepped up," she said. "Clients ask for you by name. Promotion in 3 months. Senior title, 15% raise." I rerouted the difference to savings. Madison's posts turned louder, then sadder. Rants about toxic people. Screenshots of devotionals between ads. A former coworker commented again. "Didn't your sister pay for everything?" The comment disappeared. So did the account. I didn't chase narratives online. I kept mine on paper. Dates, amounts, outcomes, next steps. Grandma Ruth visited in August. Small suitcase, firm hug, clear eyes. She brought a card and a check. For your buffer, she said. Not your burden. We ate lunch by the window. She asked about work, the condo search. I answered without flinching. On the way out, she paused. Proud of you, she said. Not for fighting. For stopping the rescue. That night I opened the bankruptcy folder. Not mine. Theirs. Public records listed filings in our county. Names I recognized, not surprised. They had chosen consequences over change. I closed the tab and breathed slowly. I wasn't their insurer anymore, or their understudy. I washed the dishes and wiped the counter. The apartment stayed tidy and quiet. Bills paid, calendar light, inbox manageable. Freedom looked like Tuesday. They wanted my credit. I kept my future. I toured condos with a steady heartbeat. No one else on the paperwork. A one-bedroom faced a green park. Morning light insisted through tall windows. The lender approved my file quickly. Clean history, clean math, clean boundaries. On closing day, I signed a loan. My name filled every page confidently. Keys landed in my palm. Not heavy. Final. I moved with help from friends. Pizza, blankets, jokes about adulthood. We built shelves and laughed easily. Grandma Ruth visited the next weekend. Small suitcase, bigger smile, clear eyes. She brought soup and stories. I updated the will, she said. Your mother gets modest help. You get the rest. I started to protest. She raised a hand, gentle. Receive care without arguing it away. Work stayed steady, not frantic. Deadlines met, weekends mine again. I bought a used bicycle. I went to therapy Thursdays. We named losses without dramatics. We practiced quiet joy. Sometimes I reread Dad's message. Stay away from us forever. It doesn't burn anymore. It glows like an exit sign. Madison kept posting. I stopped checking. Narratives need audiences. Mine moved out. At dusk, I walked the park loop. Kids biked the path. The park exhaled. A text pinged from someone new. Kind. Patient. Plans for Saturday. I said yes without calculating rescue. I liked the version of me answering. That night I opened the balcony door. City noise braided with summer air. I watered plants that finally lived. Peace wasn't a ceremony. It was a practice. Bills set to autopay. Phone on silent. Locks clicked. Windows open. If you've chosen boundaries over approval, I'm proud of you. Tell me what you kept, and what you finally released. I removed my name from their loans, and from their story.